Hello my friends, today let's discuss some laptops. Look what I got here. This is Asus Zephyrus G14 and G16. And look how tiny this box is.
This video was recorded almost 1.5 years ago. I just can't believe how time flies. It was planned to be released a lot faster. Some of you asked to review brand new smartphones. Vivo X200 Ultra, Xiaomi 15 Ultra. As everything in life, not all things go according to plan. Combining it with personal business, it lead to so big delay. More videos about laptops are ready to be edited, and will be released in the nearest future.
They are very lightweight, and in theory should have very nice battery life. Look at these boxes. This is 2024 models, with new Intel Ultra processors, and we have Ryzen 8th Gen on the Zephyrus G14. It is Zen 4 architecture, unfortunately. 2024 is kinda lame year for laptops. We have almost nothing new, but this is new redesign, we get completely different chassis. I want to explain you why I chose these specific two models. The last Windows laptop that I used was this old HP. It had AMD Ryzen 4600 with NVIDIA GTX 1650. It was very budget laptop with budget build quality, but at the time it gave me enough performance for my daily tasks. 4K video editing was even possible on this old cheap laptop. But still, I kinda struggled with my daily tasks and I wanted something better. For a couple of years laptop market stagnated, there were only small steps. For ridiculous amounts of money, I waited 1 year, second year, and was tired all along, and my research led me to the next laptop. It was this bad boy. This is Apple's Macbook Pro M1 Max. Base completation, 32 gigs of RAM. RAM and GPU VRAM are split on the Apple system. So, I really tried to do my daily task on this device. I did everything with it. My personal life, media consumption, multimedia, my work projects, my video editing, YouTube stuff, everything. I used this laptop for more than half a year. But in the end I was very disappointed with the results coming from this Apple laptop. Software-wise, Macintosh OS is just not for me, and hardware-wise, it was not enough. I struggled with basic stuff. Video editing was choking itself. Something simple that moving text on my timeline was a hassle for this laptop. Sometimes I do 1 hour, 2 hour, even more than 3 hours reviews on this channel, on my other YouTube channel. So I needed very reliable and powerful device at the same time. In very compact form factor that I can take with me because I am traveling a lot, I live in several countries. Unfortunately, this device is just not for me. I have lots of videos about whole Apple ecosystem on my channel. If you are interested why I didn't like Apple products, I really tried to use them as my daily driver, but nope. I even bought second. This is 14-inch M1 Pro with 16 gigs of RAM. I bought it for my wife. This is her first laptop. She kinda likes it, but I feel like its time has gone. So I hope that these 2024 Zephyrus devices can replace these Apple products for me. My first requirement is that screen must be good, color accurate. I need nice quality speakers inside my device because I'm traveling. I don't have luxury to take speakers with me every time. It should be pretty portable and of course very powerful. We will compare everything against each other. And now let's unbox our Zephyrus devices. First will be Zephyrus G14. It has nice 3K OLED screen with NVIDIA RTX 4070 and 32 gigs of RAM. Unfortunately, RAM is soldered on these devices. Lots of people compare Zephyrus devices with Apple products. They are very similar in terms of build quality, in terms of feature set, and of course in terms of soldered RAM. I kinda hate this trend. I believe that it is very possible to implement replaceable RAM even in this small form factor. If you can't do this, you are a very bad engineer. I believe that the problem is the industry itself, not just Asus. Let's open it. Alright. This is a very lightweight device. I can easily hold it with 2 fingers. It is made from metal. We have some waste paper. Republic of Gamers. Not like I'm pro gamer. To tell the truth, I kinda like to play some video games, but now I have literally no time for it. Maybe in the near future we can start our gaming channel. How about that, my friends? It has vents on the bottom. Everything is made from metal. Take a look at that. My favorite part about this laptop is these stickers, and of course I'm joking. I will literally rip them off soon. So everything feels pretty nice. Hinge is very durable. Nothing wobbles. This is maximum that it can go. You can't open this 180 degree. It feels very sturdy on the table. I am pushing pretty hard, but I can't move it. Very nice. If you compare it with 14-inch M1 Pro, I feel like it is more dense, more sturdy, but it is heavier, maybe 100-200 grams, and this is pretty noticeable in the hand. Let me remove this sticker. We have ultra-fast response time. I love this, because on Apple devices we have pretty bad response time. I see lots of ghosting, lots of smearing. Not very comfortable experience, even in terms of web browsing. Not to tell about playing some games. But playing games on Apple system is just a sad story. Let's leave it here. So build quality is nice. Design-wise, it kinda reminds me of Apple. I'm not big fan of Apple design, because it looks kinda bland and boring, like solid metal brick. My associations are boring office work. You can open this hinge identically. Maybe it has slight wobble. For the first time, I thought that it is not. If I move table, you can definitely see more wobble on the Zephyrus G14 than on Macbook. Not like it is deal breaker, but definitely worth mentioning. But here where MacBooks have some problems, it is a lot more easy to move it from the table. Very slippery. Where here, I just can't do this. I'm pressing pretty hard, but nothing moves. So it left marks on my fingers, and I can't move it. Very nice slide protection. So design-wise, I kinda like Zephyrus more. Feels like it has little bit more touches, a little bit more soul, if I can describe it. For me, MacBook feels kinda bland. Not like Zephyrus is miles ahead, it feels little bit boring as well. But at least I don't have lots of RGB lights all over the place. Both trackpads are glass. I kinda love the feeling of the Zephyrus more. Here I have more resistance. While on Zephyrus, it just slides. Also, I kinda dislike trackpad on MacBooks. They are haptic and it is not my piece of cake. Touches feels very robotic, not predictable. If my hand is tired, sometimes it's hard to long press. Well, here I believe we have physical trackpad. But to tell the truth, I kinda don't use trackpad that much. I enjoy using mouse a lot more. It is more fast, more predictable, easy to aim, easy to press. Also small mention, but we have slightly round cut on the corners. It is not piercing in my hand too much, while on MacBook we have very sharp edges. It is not comfortable experience to hold your hands here. While here, it is not like drastically better, but it does not hurt me. So we have Apple logo here on the MacBook, and we have this line. I believe you can customize it. It has LED light inside. We will test everything a little bit later. This laptop I bought specifically for my wife. I hope she likes it more than MacBook. If not, it will be my personal device on the go. We'll take it on the car trips and so on. And now this. Asus Zephyrus G16. It has the same 32 gigs of RAM. Unfortunately, there is no 64 gigs option. I just don't understand. Asus, are you okay? Why are you doing this to us?
Can't believe we paid $3,000 for this!
With Nvidia RTX 4090 inside, this was a steal deal. The cheapest offering on the market that I could find right now, but still it is pretty expensive. Even for 4090 inside. RAM is soldered on the motherboard. I just can't switch it. Even Apple offers you more RAM. Of course they will rip you off. With your kidney, with your leg, but still, you can get more RAM. While here, you are kept at 32 gigs. Asus, get your stuff together. Alright, let's open it. They had some damage on the transport box, that's why they offered me a discount. I wanted to make sure that everything is alright. And look at that. Oh, I'm living in industrial zone right now. Lots of dust here. Again, more waste paper. The same, very nice. Build quality. Everything is made from metal. We have ventilation on bottom. This is the main difference between Apple devices. Here is 16-inch M1 Max. As you can see, it does not have any ventilation on bottom. You can put it on your lap very comfortably. All vents are on the sides, and they blow in the table. And on the back. I can see not much fingerprints here. Definitely you need to be careful. The same Republic of Gamers logo, like they want me to start my YouTube gaming channel. Asus, please stop. I don't have time right now. Slash design. Ooh. And look at this. What a beautiful, beautiful stickers. I'm joking. Why are you putting this on expensive devices? This looks like a clown show. We will remove them lately. Unbelievable. Intel, please, put this on your forehead. Now this is a lot better. Let's now just discuss the design. It is very similar to the MacBook Pro 16. I can open it with one hand, no problem. MacBook. It is also possible. But it is again very slippery. It can very easily be moved on a table. While here, on Asus, it is just impossible. My table is moving, but not a laptop. Everything is creaking. Very rock solid. So design looks very similar. You can't open it 180. This is maximum that you can go. Almost the same on the MacBook. It can be opened a little bit more. What about screen wobble? Yeah, definitely. Little bit more. If I move the table, we can see that they both wobble a little bit. Maybe Zephyrus a little bit more. But when I am typing, nothing happens. I cannot say that it is drastically different typing experience. Maybe on Zephyrus you need slightly more push. They both made from metal. Very nice feelings. Again, Apple device will hurt your hands, it has very sharp edge, not very comfortable to place your hands here, while on Zephyrus you have this accurate round cutout, nothing hurts, a lot more pleasant experience. Design-wise, I feel like, again, Apple device looks very bland and boring, like basic office laptop, but with nice built-in construction quality, metal, solid. I feel like I can drop it and it will survive. Very dense, very nice, so no problems with build quality whatsoever, I just don't like the design. Here we have some more accents, lines, trackpad. Trackpad the same story, I feel like they both are nice, they are glass. On the Zephyrus it is more smooth, fingers are sliding more. It is physical trackpad, I like it a lot more, I kinda hate haptic feedback from this robotic touchpad. It was a hard time for my wife to learn it, she had to spend a couple of days trying to push and pull, it will be even more if I didn't help her. So that's all about build quality, very nice construction, full metal. Design is kinda little bit boring on both. I feel like more boring on Apple device, and I see a little bit more interesting accents on the Zephyrus device. For example, these metal grills for speakers, some lines, very accurate cutouts on the sides, and this interesting LED lighting. They call it slash lighting. So as you can see, they're pretty similar. We have more ports on the Zephyrus device. We have HDMI, Thunderbolt port, USB 3.2, and on this side we have USB Type-C, USB 3.2, micro SD card. It is full size, by the way. Zephyrus G14 has only micro SD expansion, which is a bummer. I kinda don't like it, but it is what it is. 14-inch Macbook has full-size SD card. M1 Max Macbook has only 3 USB Type-C ports. Some of them has Thunderbolt support, HDMI and full-size SD card expansion. It was not enough for me, I always used a couple of dongles to connect mouse, to connect some other accessories, and of course, the worst part here, to connect external SSD drive. Both of these devices has 32 gigs of RAM, they are all soldered into the motherboard, but on Macintosh laptop you just can't switch SSD storage, it is also soldered into the motherboard. This is stupid, this is atrocious, I dislike it. Here was my solution. This is external SSD, 4 terabytes. It is NVMe connection, I just put it inside this Thunderbolt 4 enclosure. It has 40 gigabit speed, and I used it for everything. This base model have only half a terabyte, and it was pain, really pain. This 4 terabyte ultra-fast SSD is only $150. This Thunderbolt enclosure is only $50. So both them combined were $200 for me. $200 and I have ultra-fast 4 terabyte SSD. It is even faster than SSD soldered into this Apple device. And this device is even smaller. Look how teeny tiny it is. This teeny tiny device has 2000 gigabytes inside it. 2 terabytes. And guess what was the price with this metal enclosure? Try to guess it. Brand new conditions. From the store. $100. If you search, you can definitely find these offerings. And this is the same, almost 7000 speed. It is faster than SSD soldered into this M1 Max. So here, in my hand, I have 6 terabytes of ultra-fast SSD storage, and it was only $300. Imagine how much will Apple charge you for this amount of SSD space. I guess it will be the price of the Zephyrus G14, with RTX 4060 inside. But of course this has RTX 4070, it is a little bit more expensive. But it will be very similar to what Apple charge you for SSD space and RAM. All soldered into the motherboard, you just can't switch it. Crazy stuff. And Asus, you deserve some rage too. I dislike soldered RAM on this device, but for $300 I can get 8000 gigs inside my Zephyrus device. And it will be faster than soldered in. Apple, get out of here with this BS. So that's pretty much it with Apple devices. We will look at the benchmarks further. We will test quality of the speakers against each other, so we can understand who is better. What I can say about Apple devices, they all have very nice quality speakers. Not like they are perfect and mind-blowing, but they are very solid, very good. Most of the Windows laptops just get very trash, very atrocious speakers, with non-existent lows, with very mushy mids, and with very creaky highs. So I will use 8 terabytes inside my Zephyrus G16, and will put 4 terabytes inside my wife's laptop. This is just a pain to move around these external hard drives. This one I will definitely keep. It is small, it is easy. It does not get on your way. You can freely move your laptop with this attached. But this one is very hard to move with. My wife even refused to use this, just because of how big and heavy it is. Speeds are phenomenal, but user experience in terms of moving around with it is not. So, build quality is very similar. They all made from metal. Maybe Apple is a little bit more solid, but Zephyrus is lighter and sleeker. Zephyrus G14 is lighter and thinner than 14-inch MacBook Pro, and Zephyrus G16 is lighter and thinner than 16-inch M1 Max. So we have more sleeker, lighter devices, with very solid build quality and with a lot more better GPU power inside. Apple devices has some H265 encoders inside them, but they don't work with multipass encoding. And to tell the truth, I kinda miss AV1 encoders. This is also one of the reasons why I'm switching. Old Apple devices just don't have any encoders and decoders for AV1 codec. And this RTX 4000 series has not only dedicated decoder for AV1 codec, but they also has double encoders. Why this is a big deal for me? Because I'm making YouTube videos, and with these codecs I can make them small file sizes, but very nice image quality. For example, YouTube video limit is 250 gigs, but something like Rumble from Canada can accept only 15 gigs of video size. My average size for video is somewhere around 50 to 100 gigs, and with AV1 codec I can shrink it down to 15 gigs and upload it to Rumble. I want to re-encode my large videos and save tons of SSD space in the process. Alright, I'm speaking too much. Let's open this device. Also, I love that this device does not turn on if I open the lid. It does not turn on even if I press buttons. Sometimes I just want to open it to remove some dust, to wipe it off. And the least thing that I want to see is that my laptop is turned on. This drives me crazy with this MacBook. Every time I open the lid, it just turns on, with this very loud sound. By the way, we have sound on Zephyrus too. Luckily you can turn this off. And hello fan noise, my old friend. I never miss to hear you again. But to tell the truth, it is already off. It was on for a couple of seconds, now it is idle. Literally zero fan noise. I can hear fans from my lights, but nothing from this laptop. As you can see, we have LED light here. They call it slash. I call it just simple line. You can customize it, you can turn it off. By the way, all Asus laptops has Armoury software. Actually, I recommend you to completely delete it. One very clever guy implemented open source program called G-Helper. It is the same like Asus software, but on the steroids. You can control power limits, fan noise, and so on. You can switch this slash, turn it off, so you can control almost everything from this G-Helper program. If you own Asus laptops, research G-Helper program. It will drastically improve your user experience with Asus laptops. You know, my friends, I just realized how much I missed Windows. Everything is so intuitive, so easy, so logical. Yes, it has a little bit of bloatware, but you can easily fix everything. User experience is miles better than on Apple products. And also this File Explorer. Oh my god, this is such a relief. I just can't express how much I am happy right now. I feel like I broke from the prison. Apple fans, please, don't hate me. In some areas I kinda liked using it, but this is just miles better for me personally. File Explorer on MacBook is called Finder, and it is such a pain in the butt to use it. Just simple basic tasks like organizing your files, your folders, is a nightmare on Apple system. For example, I cannot press Shift and outline files that I needed in the icons mode. I can only make it in the list mode. I have a video about Apple ecosystem. I explained everything in great details. All my nitpicks, all my problems with Apple devices. I expressed my user experience, my own observations, everything that I liked, everything that I disliked, what problems I faced, and why in the end I switched to these devices. So if you want, you can check it later. But now this Windows, oh my god. I spent almost half a year with this MacBook, but even after 6 months, I just can't find any solutions for the problems on it. Almost every day during this half a year, I spent problem searching, googled my questions how to solve this, how to solve that. Sometimes it helped, Sometimes it does not at all, like dead end. No fix, just accept it. And to tell the truth, I don't want to accept it. I want very easy, very intuitive, and very logical user experience. I don't want to install 20 programs just to get basic functionality, and here everything just works from the start. I debunked lots of myths about Apple ecosystem for myself, and confirmed that Windows is the only way to go for me right now. Maybe Linux, but Windows has a lot more support for the applications, for some modifications for the apps, and so on. Everything is available, and I can get a lot more better graphical performance. And of course, video editing will be a lot smoother. You know, I spend so much time with Apple device, but still, I have finger memory for Windows devices. I just can't get used to Macintosh layout. For example, switching language, Shift-Alt, everything is just muscle memory. While on Mac, I always had to make weird moves with my fingers. Command-Control-Shift-T, Shift-Control-Y, like a pianist. You know, it is a little bit warm for the touch, nothing major, it is still silent, no fan noise in idle mode whatsoever, and this is before my tweaks. Even if I had slight fan noise, I can easily trade it for more comfort of use for Windows, for File Explorer. No way I want to touch this Finder on Apple device ever again. Maybe in the future, if they implement something very nice and I want to test it for you, but for now, for my personal life, for my personal work, I'm choosing these devices. I'm not hating on Apple, this is just my personal opinion, please accept it as it is. If you love these devices, more power for you. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you very nice user experience. I'm very glad if you are enjoying these devices. And I want to be happy myself, that's why I will use this device. Even before we start testing music, these speakers are very nice. Some notifications pop up are just very bassy, very strong. I can feel it. I really want to test this speaker sound quality. By the way, I forgot to mention, they have glossy screen, but they still have some reflection protection. Anti-reflective coatings. To tell the truth, I dislike anti-reflective coatings. I want all the reflections possible, it will give me the most clear and sharp image. I don't mind some reflections, but if you have some light sources around your room, outside, even if they are not directly hitting your screen, it will still lose some contrast. It is a little bit annoying. For example, right now I have a light source on my left, it is not directly shining to the screen, and I still can see how it is affecting my screen. It is hard to describe, but I'm losing contrast on the top, it is somewhat distracting. While on Apple device, yeah, I have little bit more reflections, but nothing affects it in terms of light leaks and loss of contrast. A little bit of a bummer, I think that I can get used to it. Some people are using matte screen anyways, and here is nice middle ground compromise. As for the battery life, we have lost already couple of percents, nothing major. Apple devices has very nice battery life, if they idle or you are watching YouTube video, Netflix and other stuff. But as soon as you start power-hungry applications, for example, Photoshop, video editing software, maybe you have some music in the background, maybe you have some video on your web browser, and your browser have 10 tabs open. This M1 Max died literally in couple of hours, maybe 3 maximum. So I never ever used it unplugged. Watching movies, listen to music, yeah, it was nice. But working, no, always plugged in. So this is not an argument for me. I used my Apple Macintosh plugged in every time, so I can as well use Windows laptop plugged in. Also we have chargers here. One charger is USB Type-C, 100 watt gun charger. Very small, very lightweight. And second big brick, it is not USB Type-C, it is Asus proprietary connection. It is 180 watt. I believe this is for Zephyrus G14. Look at the size difference. And here are chargers for Apple devices. This is not GaN technology, but they are still relatively small. This is 67 watts for 14-inch MacBook, and this is 150 for 16-inch M1 Max. They are using proprietary connection. They call it MagSafe. It has some magnets. It magnetically connects. Very easy, very comfortable. You can do this even without looking at your device. Here, look. Bam. Bam. Very easy. You can charge your Apple laptops on Macintosh OS literally from any charger, even from power banks. If you ask me, this is a huge plus. I will kinda miss this connection. If you have proprietary connection, at least give us something easy to use like this MagSafe. Here on Zephyrus, it is not very easy task. You need to see what you are doing, but kinda okay. Nothing deal breaker. But I feel like this MagSafe is just simply better. Here is the size difference with Apple charger. 100 watt for Zephyrus, 67 watt for Apple. But don't forget that you need this cable for this Zephyrus charger, so your package will look like this. While on Apple, you just need a MagSafe cable. By the way, you can buy compact GaN charger and charge your MacBook this way. It will be even more compact than this. So for the charging, for the connection, Apple wins, without a doubt. This 200 watt charger is kinda hassle to take with you, but it is GaN technology, it is a lot smaller, for example, than something from MCI offerings, but still I wish I kinda get rid of it and just use something small like this. All this time I was charging my MacBook just from this 100 watt GaN charger. It has multiple connectors, I can charge up to 3 devices with it. It is very compact, travel friendly. So this is everything I need to charge my Apple devices. I can use my M1 Max for the full power and still charge all other devices, for example iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, without any hit in terms of performance. Not like performance is mind-blowing from this M1 Max, but still, it is kinda usable. So this will definitely be missed from my M1 Max with this new Zephyrus device. You know, it is still kinda not very heavy. It is pretty lightweight for its size. But I just wish I could keep this. I don't know, maybe for lightweight tasks, I can get away with this 100 watt charger. Maybe I can even work on it with this small device, who knows. But definitely when I'm using heavy duty tasks, I will be all the time plugged in, as well as I will with my M1 Max. If I edit video with my Apple device, I can have 2, maybe 3 hours at max. So nothing will change for me. Alright, let's quickly test sound quality. Zephyrus G16. And now Apple laptop, 16-inch M1 Max. let me listen again to the Zephyrus. You know, I feel like Zephyrus is a very good laptop. They have improved speakers a lot, but it is not close to Macbook. They definitely not on the same league. Sorry Asus, nice try, but Apple still has a lot better speakers. Sound is more clear. It is more, how to describe, ephemerical, like I can feel it in the air. These small parts, small instruments, small strings, they are all around me. They are almost in my head. I can hear them very nice, very distinctive. While here, on Zephyrus, it is a little bit more muffled. Thank you universe I didn't buy Scar 18. Audio performance would be atrocious. I will describe it like this. Zephyrus G16 is maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars, and MacBook will be 4.5 stars out of 5. Other laptops, for example Lenovo, Asus Scar 18, Scar 16 will be 1 out of 5 stars. They really have very garbage audio speakers. And just for fun, let's test my old budget HP in terms of audio quality. What the pain I had to go through all these years. Oh, my friends, you know, even modern smartphones have better sound quality than this device. I don't know how I lived with it for many years. I will describe it as trash can. Sound is muffled, no bass, highs are not distinctive at all, mids are meh, so very bad listening experience. And my friends, if you have some arguments that you don't listen music on your laptop, you are using your headphones, I feel like it is because you have never experienced very nice speakers inside your laptop. Because yeah, sometimes I want to use my headphones, sometimes I feel like I want to listen it as it is. Maybe I want to watch a movie with my wife, maybe I want to share my experience with friends, show music, show some videos. I feel like this is beyond pathetic. Who in the right mind came to thoughts that it will be great idea to face speakers down, the opposite side from your ears? This is just stupid. Not only this, but speakers are very bad quality. Even my smartphone has a lot bad audio experience than this abomination of a speakers. So, HP, please go away. But still, thank you for serving me well all these years. I managed to edit 4K videos on it. I got thousands of dollars out of this device just by selling stock video. Thank you, HP, but your time has passed. Sorry. I will really miss this audio quality from Macbook on these Windows laptops. To the point that I even want to leave this laptop just for multimedia experience, watching videos, listening to music. These audio speakers are that good. If you don't care at all about GPU performance of your laptop, if you don't care about problems with file system on the Apple devices, I will say that this is the selling feature for me. If you're just using your laptop for web browsing, for listening to music, maybe these devices will suit you well. Even now they are very cold for the touch. Battery life on idle and web browsing is very nice. While here, Zephyrus, it is kinda warm for the touch. Of course, I will tweak it here and there. And I can see that I already have 29% battery left. So I started this video with 60%. It already lost half of the battery. Of course, I will debloat this Windows. I will uninstall Armory Crate. I will install G-Helper. But I don't feel that we will get Apple performance on idle. Of course, my problem with this Macintosh was not battery life. Really, it is a bummer. When I'm using heavy tasks, for example Photoshop, video editing software, multiple browser tabs open, this MacBook lost all the battery in a matter of couple of hours, so I always used it plugged in. This will be identical situation on this Asus Zephyrus G16 for me, but idle, web browsing, watching videos, of course, Apple will win. This OLED screen is nice, but it needs calibration. You need to press calibrate in this Armory Crate program. For now colors look a little bit dull. Here on Apple device, everything is bright, everything is vivid from the start. Audio speakers are very nice from the start. I don't know if it's possible even to make it similar. I will try to use some equalizers to try and enhance listening experience, but I feel like I won't get any better than this. Audio experience is a lot nicer on MacBook. I don't know, maybe I will keep it to make more testings, spend more time with these devices, because right now on the internet lots of BS, lots of myths, lots of lies, everyone hates on each other. Some people say Apple is literal trash, some say that it is the best what happened to humanity, other people hate Windows. They say that every day you will get blue screens of death, everything will be laggy, everything will be hot, fan noise will be unbearable, battery life non-existent. But everything is a lie, everyone just hate on each other. Apple devices has something good about them, for example screen, audio performance, battery life, they are cool for the touch in normal use. While these laptops like Asus, Lenovo and others will have a lot better GPU power from Nvidia, better support for the programs, so it is what it is. I just need to figure out, can I live without this very nice audio quality? And can Windows annoy me to the part? So let's see some benchmark. I will test multiple programs here and there, maybe video editing programs. On the screen, we will make more in-depth testing in the next videos. This was just unboxing and first impressions, so stay tuned my friends. If you have something to say in the comments, please don't hate on each other, otherwise comments will be deleted immediately. I want to hear from you what you love from the Apple ecosystem, why are you using Windows laptops, maybe you think that all these devices are literal trash, and you need to buy something else with Linux installed on it. I want to hear your side of the story in the comment section. Feel free to express yourself. Thank you for watching my friends, and have a very extraterrestrial day.